There are a few people in history whose minds seem to stretch beyond the limits of their time. But one man, one name, keeps echoing through the centuries like a whisper that refuses to fade. Leonardo da Vinci. You think you know him? The Mona Lisa, Vitruvian Man, that brilliant Renaissance painter. But what if I told you, painting was just a tiny sliver of who he really was? What if the real Da Vinci was hiding something deeper? Secrets buried in sketches, notebooks, and even in that mysterious smile. Let's peel back the layers, one genius stroke at a time. Born in April 1452, in the quiet village of Vinci in Italy, Leonardo's name literally means from Vinci. His father was a wealthy notary, his mother, a teenage peasant girl. They never married. By the age of 5, Leonardo had already been passed between homes. His mother remarried, and he went to live with his father in a household that would raise him, but never really love him. This lack of affection didn't break Leonardo. It sharpened him. He began to observe everything, every shape, every shadow, every star. And by the time he was a teenager, a local craftsman saw something in him. Something unnatural. A talent too large to stay hidden. Leonardo was sent to study under the great Andrea del Verrocchio, a master in painting, sculpture, and mechanics. But soon, the student would eclipse the teacher. Legend says when Leonardo painted part of a shared canvas, an angel in the baptism of Christ, Verrocchio was so stunned by his student's skill that he dropped his brush and never painted again. But Leonardo wasn't just an artist, he was everything. He studied over 300 human corpses in secret to sketch the most accurate anatomical drawings the world had ever seen. Images so precise, modern doctors compare them to CT scans. And remember, this was a time when cutting open a body could get you executed. He designed cities, bridges, helicopters, tanks, even a self-driving cart. He built stage machinery that made dragons fly across theaters. He composed music, played instruments, sculpted, wrote, then rewrote pages and pages of inventions no one could build for centuries. But what made him this way? Many researchers today believe Leonardo had a combination of Asperger's syndrome and dyslexia, a rare cocktail that gave him obsessive focus and visual genius. He could write backward with one hand while sketching with the other. He avoided human contact, never married, and kept most of his personal life hidden. And yet, the Mona Lisa, her gaze, that smile. She stares out from behind the centuries. But who was she? In 1503, a wealthy Florentine merchant commissioned a portrait of his wife, Lisa. She was 24 and pregnant. Da Vinci accepted the task and never finished it. For 13 years, he kept that painting with him, obsessing over it, adjusting it, layering shadow over shadow, using a technique called sfumato, which gives it that haunting glow. He never gave it to the man who paid for it. He never sold it. He took it to France when he moved to live under the patronage of King Francis III. Why? Was it a code? A symbol? Or was it someone else? Some believe the Mona Lisa wasn't just a woman. Others believe it's a hidden self-portrait. Or perhaps it wasn't a person at all, but an ideal. And still, there's more. Let's talk about rivalry. You've heard of Michelangelo, right? The sculptor of David, the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. He and Leonardo, sworn enemies. Their feud was legendary. They insulted each other publicly, competed for commissions, and couldn't stand to be in the same room. When asked about unfinished projects, Michelangelo mocked Leonardo. That's the man who never finishes what he starts. Da Vinci fired back when Michelangelo left a debate. See how he runs from real conversation? These weren't petty arguments. This was a clash of titans. Michelangelo believed in passion. Da Vinci in precision. But Leonardo's most haunting creation? The Vitruvian Man. A man with arms outstretched, inscribed in a circle and a square. It wasn't just art, it was philosophy. He believed the human body reflected the universe. The circle stood for the heavens. The square, the earth. The man, a bridge between the two. This drawing wasn't just anatomy, it was a symbol of balance, of divine proportion, of cosmic design. And here's something few know. Leonardo wasn't even the first to draw it. His friend, Giacomo Andrea, made an earlier version, but Da Vinci's became iconic. Why? Because it carried his soul, and maybe his own reflection. There's more. A boy named Salai came to live with him at the age of 10. His name means little devil, and he lived with Leonardo for 30 years. He stole from him, lied, even forged artworks. But Leonardo never sent him away. In fact, it's believed that Salai may have modeled for some of his later works. Could he even be the Mona Lisa? And then, the telescope. Yes, 100 years before Galileo, Leonardo wrote of a device to magnify the moon. He sketched the lenses, calculated the glass thickness, but the world wasn't ready. They never are. Leonardo died in 1519 in France, cradled, so legend says, in the arms of King Francis I. He left behind notebooks full of wonders, inventions were still building, and mysteries were still chasing. So next time you see the Mona Lisa, look closer. She's not just smiling, she's keeping a secret. If you enjoyed this journey through Da Vinci's hidden world, leave us a comment and tell us what you think he was really hiding. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next story might just change the way you see history.